if you're red inking and going negative, one day you'll wake up and wonder why they're knocking at the door taking your farm away. My name's Snider. This is Little Red Hen Mills. We've been certified organic for 33 years. We farm east of New Norway, south of Camrose, along the Battle River. We're about 2,000 acres, all certified organic production. This is, I believe, our 33rd year of certified production, so we've been in the game a little while. Primary cereal grains that we produce. We do some alfalfa in rotation. We've got seed cleaning and processing on site.
So our farm's name is Eldorena Milling Company. We grow wheat, barley, and oats mainly for grain crops. And then we do forages as well, as we have cattle. So we do alfalfas, sweet clovers, red clovers. We do a lot of green manure plow downs as well, so that can incorporate anything from field peas, chicory, radishes, turnips, anything that'll add composition to the soil and biomass.
If you don't know your cost of production, then you have a really tough time finding a target return that you want to hit so that you are profitable. I think sometimes we don't even realize that we're selling for a price on our grain that's below cost of production or below making us money. And sometimes you're in a corner, you don't have a choice. I do cost of production in the winter, typically when we're getting ready for doing taxes. You can draw that out of your tax forms quite quickly and quite easily. Isolating it to each product can be a little trickier in terms of, what did your oats cost to produce, what did your hay cost to produce, what did your barley cost to produce, what did your wheat cost. You can still break that down. You can average your costs of, machinery depreciation, fuel costs, seed costs, and all that can be teased back to those acres and get you a fairly accurate number. One of the things that is a little different in organic production is we do green manure plow downs, where we take a field out of production for a year, and I like to transfer those costs back onto the producing acres. So, you can't forget that. That's a very key element, because that is a very significant cost, is those non-producing acres have to be translated back onto producing acres. I like to have a lot of that in hand before the end of February, so we can sit down and start looking at contracting production. That's typically the time of year where buyers are releasing their prices and releasing their contracts. Any later than that, you start moving into March and April, sometimes you're putting yourself behind the gun on picking up production contracts. It's one of those things where you've got to know what's making you money and what's losing you money, and it helps you sign up those contracts in February so you know where you need to be to make yourself profitable.
The three biggest things when it comes to our cost of production is land, labor, and equipment. These come in many different forms. All three can be either things that are owned or that have a loan associated with them. So it becomes a little bit difficult when you're breaking down what the cost of each of those is for your production. So there are many different tools that you can use that can help you in finding those numbers for if you own equipment. Those can be through Saskatchewan Agriculture. They have great rates for custom rates, and that's something that you can use if you're not sure, and it'll at least give you a ballpark number as to what your costs are for different pieces of equipment. You can see the value of your green manure plow down in every subsequent crop that you get. And as organic producers, it's important to realize that really we're soil producers first. We're people that are investing in the soil. And really the grains, forages, they're all just a byproduct of us making great soil. So on our farm, we've just begun to use QuickBooks to help decipher our cost of production. And what's great about it is that per field or per plot, you can go ahead and put in your cost of production and then really be able to look at a field as to how profitable it is or not.
If you're looking to try to simplify the process, it comes back to pulling out your tax return, because your T2042 is farming income summary. Your depreciation's all on there. Your acres. I think for, like I said, organic producers, we need to take producing acres, not total acres, because I always want to fold that cost back to those acres producing, because those costs has to go somewhere. It has to go back to the production. Honestly, an hour a day for 3 or 4 days, you'll have her figured out pretty quickly if you want to commit the time. We could defer to Roy on some of those calculations. He's got a lot of good information.
Thanks, Stephen. We would like to talk a little bit more about cost of production here in Manitoba. Why should farmers calculate their cost of production? Well, we simply know that doing your cost of production is the starting point of profitability for your farm. Also, determining your cost per bushel sold allows you to build an effective marketing and management plan for your farm. Every year is different. Yield, prices, everything changes. We want you to plan for prosperity. Organic producers in particular need to consider the cost of soil fertility, green manure crops, and applying compost to their crop rotations. The organic COP on the Manitoba Ag website can help producers with those calculations. The operating cost, which is shown here in the blue bars, for most organic crops ranges from $225 to $250 per acre. This includes seed fertility fuel, machinery repairs, crop insurance, and property taxes. The fixed cost shown in the red bars is $122 per acre, which includes land and equipment. And the labor cost is shown in the green bars at $70 an acre, estimated at 3.2 hours per acre. Total cost range is $425 to $450 per acre. For the organic cost analysis today, we use the yields and prices from the 2019 Organic Cost of Production Bulletin. Taking a look at profitability, the organic crop gross revenue generally ranges from $400 to $600 per acre. Margin over total cost, or net profit, shown in the green bars, are mostly positive from $45 to $250 per acre, except for soybeans showing a loss. The break-even prices for each crop is calculated by dividing the cost by the yield. In this example, organic wheat with a total cost of $442 an acre divided by 35 bushel yield equals a break-even price of $12.63 per bushel. This is an underutilized concept that can apply to every cost decision on your farm. Do not forget that break-even equals a zero profit, which is not an ideal situation for most producers. We do the same calculations for break-even yield. Break-even yield is calculated by dividing the cost by the price. In this example, organic wheat with a total cost of $442 an acre divided by $18 per bushel equals a break-even yield of 24.5 bushels per acre. Analysis of break-even yields, which is done by dividing your target or average yields by the break-even yield, can give you an indication of risk exposure on your farm to changes in yields and prices. I call this my NASCAR analogy. How close to the wall are you running on your farm? The what-if stress test is an important analysis to do on your farm. Drop the prices by 10%. Drop the yield by 5%. The organic crop net profit, shown in the green bars, is going to get a lot tighter. However, oats and soybeans are no longer profitable. Production cost, risk management, prices, yield, equipment, land, and interest rates are all major factors that you need to get right on your farm for profitability. Manitoba Agriculture has several other resources to help producers calculate crop production costs for your farm. Your numbers are always the right numbers to manage your farm. Rent Plan allows you to model the changes in crop production costs and the amount of profitability that you want to make to determine land rental rates. Crop Plan takes the information from Manitoba Agriculture's Cost of Production bulletins, adds them into a format where you can calculate your farm's total production cost and gross revenue estimates on an annual basis. Farm Plan is a tried and true resource that produces financial statements for your farm. It's been around for many years and is very effective at managing your farm. Other provinces have farm management resources that are available to you. Check out the ministry resources in your province for more information.